Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, here to highlight a historic low Steam game deal for a game that I've talked up on this channel quite a lot, and it's just getting cheaper and cheaper. One of the games I really enjoyed from last year, and one that's been getting consistent updates, so we'll talk about that. We've got another historic low on a game that I haven't played, but have known about for quite a while. Has a gorgeous visual style. I wanted to give that a shout as well, and we'll highlight some Steam game deals under the price of $2, so really something for everyone in this video. With that being said, the bulk of the video is going to be on Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, as it is 55% off for $27. Its previous low was $29.99, so continuing to get cheaper and cheaper. I'll just say this right now. Some of you guys like to buy your games directly from Steam, and all about that, totally get that. You just want to do all your shopping on Steam. Kind of got that feeling on the back of my head being like, dude, this is going to be a humble choice title by the end of this year or sometime in the first quarter of 2026. I could see it being a humble choice game where people are like, holy hell, this is why the price is increased, and it's actually worth it. I could see that happen. Focus Entertainment has had some of their other games as humble choice titles. Hell, Space Marine 1 is a part of one of the humble bundles that's running right now, one of the Warhammer bundles. So I'll just throw that out there, but if that doesn't end up happening, who knows? It might not end up happening, or, I could totally see it end up happening in a bundle, but maybe I'm being a little bit too optimistic as far as when it's going to be, end of this year, early next is very, very soon. But regardless, if you want to pick up the game, I think Space Marine 2 is awesome. What I've said about this game is that I feel like it really harkens back to what to me is the golden era of multiplayer shooters and shooters in general, and that is like that Xbox 360 era with the Gears of War 2s of the world, and on PlayStation you had like Killzone and whatnot. It really, to me, harkens back to that. Obviously with much better visuals, but I feel like emphasizing that fun factor. It's over the top, it's action heavy, it's absolute mayhem, and I had a great time with it. Yes, the campaign is fairly short, but that's in line with what shooters were for a long time, and still really are. You get an 8 to 10 hour campaign, maybe a little bit shorter than that, and then a lot of the replayability comes into the multiplayer. And the great thing about the multiplayer in Space Marine 2 is that it's gotten so many updates. You had the PvP mode in Onslaught get added. The Hellbrute Onslaught, that got added. And they've been doing content updates regularly. Yes, they did introduce another wave of DLC content, but the DLC content is cosmetic. So take that for what you will. I think the game is fantastic. If you have a group of friends to play with, even better. I think that's where you have the best experience. I think the visuals are great. And it's just a ton of fun. Sometimes you just want an absolutely fun game, that you might not get all that invested into the narrative. For me, the Warhammer lore isn't something that I go crazy about. I know that it has a lot of depth to it when you look at all the games and whatnot, but Space Marine 2 to me was all about the gameplay, was all about that fun factor, like I said, and I had a tremendous time with it, and I think for $27, it's a great price, and I would certainly recommend it. So, like I said, also, they're going to be consistently updating the game, and it's going to get more content updates, and they've already shared a roadmap with content that's coming up for the next year. So, yeah, we're already a year into this game being out. It's had all those content updates, and now it's still getting more. Just great stuff. $27, I think, is a good price on that. Another historic low that I do want to mention, this one's certainly not as big, but for those of you that always look for the lower key titles and maybe games to just add to your wish list, Dordogne is 60% off for $5.99. Look at this game and tell me, is this not one of the best visual styles you've seen out of a game? I think it looks phenomenal. Immerse yourself in a unique narrative experience and explore the thousand summer colors of Dordogne as you revisit your childhood to uncover lost family secrets in this touching, formative journey. Play as Mimi, exploring the precious recollections of your childhood and the time shared with your late grandmother. As past meets present, confront your adult choices with fond childhood memories to uncover lost family secrets. Explore Dordoigne's landscapes of a thousand summer colors. Within hand-painted watercolor environments during your adventure, recall the moments, the panoramas, the scents, the sounds, and the sensations. Recount these vivid memories in your journal as a recollection of Mimi's family's past that's unique to your experience and a nostalgic, touching reflection of your journey. Explore the stunning landscapes of Dordogne and hand-painted watercolors, embark on a unique and heartwarming narrative experience, awaken your senses as you explore childhood memories, collect photos, sounds, and scents to create your journal unique to your adventure. Dordogne is 60% off for $5.99, a brand new low for that title as well. That came out back in June of 2023. Lastly, I do want to highlight some deals under the price of $2 before we wrap up this video, so we'll go through these fairly quickly. Playdead's Inside is 90% off for $1.99. You often hear me talk about Limbo and Inside. The games are great. Unfortunate reality, what happened with the, developers of Playdead and the founders of Playdead, I should say. Things boil down to a lawsuit, just very unfortunate, but we can just focus on the game. And Inside was a great puzzle platformer with a fantastic dark aesthetic, much like Limbo. And just a really well done game, not super lengthy, but one that you can get in and get out in a pretty quick amount of time, and you can beat it in a sitting if you really wanted to. But yeah, $1.99 on that, and then there is the Limbo and Inside bundle, $2.68 for that. If you're one of the 4 people that haven't played Limbo, or you just don't have it in your Steam library and you want to get it, you can get that alongside Inside for just $2.68, which is a fantastic deal. Next up, we have the Technomancer, which is 85% off for $1.49. This is an RPG done by Spiders, who are the developers of Greedfall. They've also done a couple of other games, and what you can say about a Spiders RPG is they definitely have some jankiness to them, but I also feel like with each subsequent outing, their games have been getting better and better. I believe they also did Mars Warlogs, which that game was the epitome of jank. But jankiness doesn't really mean like it's a bad game, it's just a little bit rough around the edges. I really like the setting of the Technomancer, and for $1.49, if you want an interesting sci-fi RPG, I do think you can have some fun with that, and for $1.49, I mean, not really much to lose there. Next up, we have Far Lone Sales, 90% off for $1.49. I have become one of the biggest proponents of this game, I feel. It's a very short game. It's not going to take you long whatsoever, but in the current climate of gaming with so many 80-hour games, I feel like that's exactly sometimes what you need if you're coming off the heels of like a gripping 50-hour RPG and you just need something a little bit more relaxing. Far Lone Sales is going to give you exactly that, because while it is a post-apocalyptic title, it is very much focused on the immersion, the atmosphere, those elements of the game that are really well done, and I think the tone of the game is great. For $1.49, really worth it, and I would definitely give that a recommendation at this price point. Shyness the Lightning Kingdom is 85% off for $1.49. Really, really great art style in this game. I know that there were some issues with the development of the title, and, it's not as refined as you may like it to be, but it's a action RPG developed by an indie dev studio. It'll let you travel in a captivating universe doomed to destruction ever since the fragmentation of the planet. Travel through an enthralling and interactive world as Chado and his 4 companions and develop your characters. Hyper-dynamic combat, mixing magic with combos, parries, and blocks like a traditional arena fighter. Develop 2 types of skills, physical attacks and magic, and unlock new talents and spells. Explore and interact with a vast world made of multiple environments thanks to you and your companions' special powers and skills. Numerous quests and side quests will give you the opportunity to develop your characters and their reputation. Shyness the Lightning Kingdom is 85% off for just $1.49, so you can check that out. And then lastly, we have the action Souls-like, the sci-fi title in The Surge, 87% off for $1.94. I really like The Surge from a premise standpoint. Now, bear in mind, this is an earlier Souls-like action game. It came out back in 2017. So at the same time, I say it's earlier, it was post-Dark Souls 3, but I would say, over the last 3 to 5 years, we've just had a absolutely onslaught of a lot of Souls-like action games, and I would put The Surge before that period. Yeah, you would get Lords of the Fallen and games like this, but I still didn't think the market was as oversaturated as it is now. Again, I liked it from a thematic standpoint. It's gonna be a little bit dated from its gameplay, but if the setting looks cool to you and you like the Souls-like action style of gameplay, for $1.94, I do feel like it's pretty good. And it's done by Deck 13. They've worked on quite a lot of other games, so yeah, Surge, $1.94. Check that out. Action sci-fi Souls-like there. But that is going to do it for me. Again, a great deal on Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Definitely wanted to highlight that at $27. I think it's a pretty good pickup, but like I said, I could see it end up being in a humble choice in the, should we say near future? Relative near future, let's put it that way. Dordogne and a bunch of games under the price of $2. Some great stuff across the board. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.